All right, guys, here it is. Happy Monday Motivation, Mindset Monday, whatever we want to call it. I haven't decided yet, but I feel like we definitely need to focus on our mindset. It's a part of one of the keys to being successful in anything that we do. And so today's mindset is persistence. We know that persistence pays, and we're going to focus on learning how to finish what you start. All right, so this is going to be a pretty quick one because we get to do this as martial artists all the time. So today you're going to learn 10 strategies to finish your tasks. So when you're completing a job, have you ever choked under the pressure? Right? Usually we choke when we're overwhelmed, or we put some kind of crazy deadline on ourselves, and or we let other people's priorities take over. So have you ever? Of course, I know that I have. And if it has happened to you, you might have ended up feeling guilty and disappointed in your own abilities. But even though the desire for you to end even though your desire for an end is high, the difficulty level or time required to complete the task could make you want to give up, right? So, do you persevere until a job is complete? Where do you stand when it comes to persevering until a job is complete? I mean, we're all human, and I know that sometimes it's easier to do things that we like versus the things that we don't like. But where do you guys stand? Where do you find yourself in this category? Be honest, right? Because we got to be self-aware. And then how can you persist when you're challenged in meeting your goals? What are you doing now? Like, how are you persisting, or are you not persisting? Okay? So if you find yourself struggling to complete what you start, then these are the things that these are the ways and the things that we're going to do to overcome them. And we're going to give you 10. You don't have to do all 10. Pick the one that works best for you now. Okay, so number 1, visualize the expected result. Sometimes if we don't start something with an idea of what it should look like at the end, we let, to use a term from my technician days, project creep come in, right? We keep making the project bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and we don't know when to say no or when to stop it from growing. So definitely take the time to visualize your expected result, and constantly remind yourself of how great you're going to feel when you're done. And then make a note of all the benefits that you're going to receive. Even if you have to talk to yourself. If you're a writer, write it. If you're a talker, talk it. If you need to put it on a poster in front of your coffee pot or refrigerator, just say, these are all the reasons why I want to get this done. All right. Number 2, be consistent. Sometimes it's going to feel like you'll never get there. When you feel that way, remind yourself you simply have to just do a little bit each day, or a little bit towards that project. So if you're working consistently towards your goal, you will get there. If you have to schedule out time, schedule time. If it's only 30 minutes, then make it 30 minutes. If it's an hour and a half twice a week, an hour and a half twice a week. But you have to put some consistency to your goal in order to start making progress towards it. All right. Number 3, notice what you've done so far. Sometimes we've been working on a project and we are so focused on everything that we haven't done that we haven't stopped to look at what we have done. So make sure you see the fruits of your labors, and then you're going to get that burst of motivation because you're going to remember what it was like before you even started. So maybe you've only completed 10% of the project, but that's 10% that you didn't have done before. All right. So be aware of what you've completed and what you have left to do. And then go back if you have to put it on your schedule. Give yourself a reward for what you've done. I mean, we need rewards too. We need Attagirls and gold stars. And for those of you that don't know what gold stars are, that's just you saying, I am amazing for getting what I did get done. Done. All right, next one. Maintain a positive outlook. All right, so whenever you stay focused on the positive, it makes it easier to continue to go forward. So remember that being positive is a choice, okay? We can be positive. It is a choice. So make the choice and take advantage of it. All right, number 5, have realistic expectations. If you didn't start playing piano at a young age and you and practice for several thousand hours already, it's unlikely you'll ever reach the level of a world-class pianist. But if you dedicate yourself to practicing 30 minutes a day, are you going to get proficient? And then are you going to get good, right? So set the realistic expectations for yourself. And I'm going to relate this to martial arts. When people come into class and they want to be like a black belt in the first 45 days. Yeah, that's not how it works, right? I mean, you have to dedicate yourself. You've got to practice. You've got to get some habits in. You've got to build some muscle memory. You've got to do things that take some time. So make sure that you set those realistic expectations. And it's admirable to strive for perfection, but be careful. Perfection doesn't exist, right? Being better than the last time you did it, yeah, being better at an aspect of it, taking it to a deeper level, absolutely. But being perfect at something is a trap, and it can stop you from getting anything done. And number 6, avoid underestimating what it will take to finish. So we've all had the experience of thinking we know how long we'll spend to complete a particular task, and then find ourselves that it's taken way, 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 way longer than we thought it would be. So if you have to make a ballpark guess as to how much time you'll need, it's better to overestimate it than to underestimate it. Because when you underestimate it, you stress out when you've gone over. And then I don't know if you guys work like me, but if I expected to spend 2 hours on something and that spills over into 4, then my mind starts to think about all the things I'm not getting done that I thought I'd get done. And then it doesn't kind of stress me out. It totally stresses me out. So make sure you overestimate it and give yourself some latitude and some leeway in there. And number 7, make a personal vow to finish what you started. You hold yourself accountable to getting it done. Stay conscious of what you want to do and why you want to do it. And it'll help motivate you to keep going forward. Put it in a place where you need to see. Put the vision. If it's something you're building, like I started building barn doors that I didn't finish because I'll tell you the truth, I made the first cuts wrong. Like the cuts were short and I was like, blah, and it totally took all of my enthusiasm about making these barn doors. So, and I haven't gone back to that. And this has been like, I did it in July. So, but I didn't make a personal vow to finish it. I let it go. So I'm going to do it on this thing. So this is September. I'm going to make a personal vow to have those doors done by Halloween of 2020. So I'm going to make that personal vow to finish what I started with that. Okay. So promise yourself you'll persist until you prevail and then do it. And number 8, recognize when you have to tweak your results. So there are going to be times when you wish to slightly alter the end goal, and that's okay. Situations and people change. What was a priority can change. I'll just use this year as an example. What was the priority going into March and April completely shifted from what we thought it was going to be. And same thing for now. Like our priority going for back to school is a completely different thing than what it was this time last year. So just recognize when you have to make those adjustments. Don't hold hard and fast to something that doesn't make sense to hold on to. Like we can't say we're going to do the same promotions that we did last year for back to school when this year's back to school season makes no sense to do it, because going back to school is something completely different, if that makes sense. So next one. Oh, sorry, not next one. Identify when it's time to make alterations. So how do you know? How do you know when it's time? So when you're doing long-term projects and goals, you're going to have to do some periodic, you're going to have to set your points at the beginning so that you're checking in on your timeline as you go. So that's the best way to identify when you have to make alterations. If you said by this time you're going to have this done and you see that there are legitimate reasons why it hasn't been done, then you might want to look at changing your outcomes. For me personally, I would just use the martial arts school business and our students. So changing the outcomes has shifted for me in what I'm doing right here. So people aren't comfortable coming into the school for classes. So we offer virtual classes, and that's great. And so that doesn't work for everyone. So then we offer one-on-one lessons, and then we offered small group classes. And then for those that are still not sure, then we're offering these trainings, and I have some other trainings so that to help them with their mindset and help them to get ready to hit the ground running when they are ready to do those things. So those are some examples of identifying and making some small shifts when you need to. And it's okay if you've changed your mind. So if what you thought you wanted isn't what you wanted, that's okay too. I mean, that's just part of you growing as a person or your business growing, and you thinking it was going to be one way and deciding, yeah, I don't really want that. Completely okay. Just do it sooner rather than later so you can stay on track to meet whatever ultimate goal you're looking to do. And number 9, consider setting mini goals, right? And I just alluded to that a minute ago. So if it feels good, it's going to feel good for you to see progress when you achieve your mini goals. But it also gives you something to shoot towards. It gives you a timeline so stuff doesn't keep getting pushed down and down and down like the barn door situation, like I just confessed to. So set them and feel good about achieving them. And the best example, and most of you already probably know this, but considering about losing weight, if you want to lose 50 pounds, that's a lot. If you say today I want to lose 50 pounds, but what if you just set a goal to lose 5 pounds? And then maybe 5 more pounds, and then maybe 5 more pounds. Chances are pretty good that you're going to be successful with that, right? Because you're taking on smaller increments, and it doesn't seem like such a huge goal. And then when you say, oh, I want to do a few pounds, then making small changes makes more sense, right? So consider doing that, and consider doing it to keep the momentum going. So when you do that and you get on the scale, like, woohoo! I just lost 5 pounds. Then when you lose your next 5, you're going to feel even better. And you're going to be more motivated to keep doing the things that worked, right? And you're going to be more motivated to keep trying to find those small things that worked. All right. And then number 10, get better at finishing the small tasks in your life. So if you're washing the dishes, avoid leaving that greasy, disgusting pan until morning, because everyone has someone in their house that doesn't do pots and pans. Right? So, and fold all the clothes rather than leaving some of them for later. Or in our house, it's the socks. The socks always get pushed back. And then clean the entire room instead of cleaning part of the room. Right? And pay all of the bills instead of paying some of the bills. And, run the full 3 miles that you plan to run. That's not me. I'm not a runner. But if you're a runner, then do what you set out to do. If you're not a runner, if you say I'm going to work out 3 days a week, then work out 3 days a week. Just get better at finishing those small tasks in your life. And then you're going to develop finishing as a habit. Because then you will become someone that finishes. I was listening to a Tony Robbins, I think it was a Tony Robbins YouTube motivational video the other day. And he reminded me of the training that he has, like, you are who you think you are. So if you tell yourself you're not a finisher, then you're not going to be a finisher. But if you start to finish things and tell yourself you're a finisher, it will be who you become. We set ourselves up to meet our own expectations. So being persistent, it can be a challenge that's worth conquering. Reward yourself and take note of what you've done so far and stay as positive as you can when you're in the middle of the task that you have. Like I said, for me, recording these videos is something that I had put off for a really long time because, there's some fear involved, and I don't like to listen to myself on tape, but I had to put aside some of those things and just give myself a schedule to do what I need to do to help my students, to help my parents, and to help anyone who wants to learn how to be more persistent and and have perseverance, okay? And then finally, don't forget the power of the vow. Vow to finish. Be very, very strong in your words to yourself. Don't say, yeah, I'd like to finish. Saying, I'd like to finish that project versus I vow to finish the barn doors by October 31st. Sounds completely different to me. I hope it sounds completely different to you. But look at the words that you're choosing, and don't forget to set your mini goals to keep you building momentum. And your persistence will pay off, right? You will start you'll do a little bit and a little bit more and a little bit more, and you will be amazed at what you will get accomplished. So, you're not off the hook yet. here is what you need. Here is what you need to do today. All right. So get a piece of paper or your notepad or your iPad or whatever you like to take notes on and ask yourself, what project are you having challenges finishing? What have you started on and you haven't finished? If you've got more than one, write them all down and then write them in the order of importance to you. Or if you can't remember why it was important, maybe it isn't something you should finish, right? But write them down. All right. Now, your next step is to use the tips in this lesson to finish that project. All right. So we've given you 10 things to do, 10 small things that you can do. So use the tips, pick a project, use the tips in this video to help you finish it. And don't forget, if it's a big one, divide it into mini goals and then complete the small goal. And if it's something that you've had on your list for a long time, then maybe take some time to see, A, if you still want to do it, and then B, if you want the same outcome as a result. Like, why did you want to do it before? What was the outcome? Has it changed since the last time you looked at it? Okay? All right. So I hope this was helpful. I hope it helps you get some of your finishing muscles and your persistent muscles coming through. And if you like this and it was helpful and you'd like some more of that, then you are more than welcome to take our course on overcoming obstacles, right? So it's just more advice like this to overcome challenges, help you build some resilience, and learn how to become the best you for you and your life and your family that you want to be. And you are going to learn surprising ways to achieve your goals regardless of your obstacles. You're going to learn how to remove every fear that you encounter. You're going to learn how to get creative when you start to hit a wall. You're going to learn how to believe in yourself even when you feel frustrated and maybe like you can't do it. You're going to learn techniques for overcoming failure to reach the success that you deserve. You're going to learn how to be self-motivated every single day. You're going to understand the secret reasons why grit always triumphs over talent. Always. And you're going to find the surprising alternative to quitting. And my favorite part of this course is you are going to write your own success story. And there's so much more in there. We've got a few other bonuses and things for you. Now, if you want to learn more about it, you can click the link to, you can find it at FMAA University. And the link will be in here under this video. And just for watching this video and hanging out to the end, you're going to save $300. So use the coupon code FACEFEAR. And it'll save you $300, and you can get started on building an amazing life that will not let anything stop you from being the amazing person you're meant to be. All right, so check out our university. We have some other free resources for you there at FMAA University, and I'll put the link under this video as well, so you have to register to use those resources. But we've got videos and ebooks and mini classes and master classes. I mean, we just have anything that I need to learn, I create and I put it together for you guys to learn as well. I figure we're all in this together. And if we're all striving to be the best people we're supposed to be, how can we not win? Anyway, so thank you for joining me. Thank you for hanging out to the end. I will see you for the next Motivation Monday. Bye.